What do you think would happen if you had some way to picture, like a chart or a graph or an image, like an X-ray and MRI, the impact that your words have on someone? You know, I think of the Big Hero 6 character and how when he tried to put the armor on the big marshmallow dude, how he would squish out other directions. And I wonder sometimes if our words capture people in the same way, if they kind of squash them into a mold that they're not made to fit in, or if they force them to release themselves in a way that they're not made to. I wonder if the words that we speak to the people that we care about, or even to absolute strangers, if they have any residual effect. I wonder if when we say things like, "You're an idiot," or "Stop doing that," or "I really don't care right now," or "I'm in the middle of something," they seem to us to be dismissive words. Like, take your thought, your idea, your emotions, your feelings right now, just put them in a little package and go somewhere else with them, because I don't have time for that. It's almost like we expect that whatever it is we're pushing out of our bubble, out of our circle, is of no consequence, because we're really only focused on what's in our circle of concentration right now, what it is that we're really trying to pay attention to. And yet the words that we use to push people back, the words that we use to get our own way, the words that we use to get our own attention, the words that we use to feel important and recognized, are they like darts at a balloon heart? Have we allowed ourselves to become so callously focused on our own interests and our own wants, our own desires and our own needs, that we flippantly throw words out there that they weren't designed to hurt? I mean, we didn't mean to wound someone. We didn't mean to injure them. We didn't mean to abandon them. We didn't mean to reject them. They asked the question at the wrong time. They asked a question we didn't really want to answer. That's not really a conversation I'm into right now. I'm trying to focus on this, whether it's the football game or online shopping. Whatever it is that has my attention right this moment. For a lot of young people, it's their cell phones, whether it's a video game or a chat message going back and forth between them and friends, or just checking their social media. And interrupting that can often get some stabbing words thrown back at you. Interrupting a business phone call or a sales meeting, or for parents who work from home, interrupting their workday while they're trying to concentrate. All of those things can get some pretty vicious words thrown at you. What if we could see a picture of what those words are doing, the impact that they're having, the lasting impact that they're having? I mean, what if you knew that the words you chose for your spouse, your child, your coworkers, your boss, the stranger on the street, what if you could see 10 years from today the impact those words right now might have? Would it change the words you choose? If you knew that your 8-year-old daughter heard you say something at 8 years old that at 18 would change whether she went to college or not? Would change the guy that she chose to date? If you knew the words that you chose for your 8-year-old son would impact whether he has 47 nose piercings and facial piercings and purple streaked hair or not, if you could see that far in advance, would you still choose the same words? And if you think I'm exaggerating, ask yourself the question, are there words 10 years ago that were said to me by someone that I respected, someone that I cared about, or even an absolute stranger, that those words redirected the course of my life? I can tell you of instances in my life that it did. When I was getting out of the Air Force and trying to decide how to spend my GI Bill, I pretty much had college paid for. And as I went in to see the education counselor and I told her what I wanted to do was to write and speak, I wanted to be the next James Dobson, she didn't have any idea who that was. And she said, well, have you written anything yet? And so I handed her a stack of things that I'd written, and randomly pulled one out and handed it to her. I didn't even have any idea what it was that I handed her until after she finished reading it and handed it back. But when she finished reading and handed it back, she got up and walked out of the room, and she was gone for probably 10 minutes. I thought that was really odd. I thought maybe she'd gone to gather some resources, that she had some ideas of directions that she could push me into, maybe colleges to choose or career fields to choose. But when she came back, she just came back with all of her makeup gone and empty-handed. And then she says to me, "Where did you get that?" And I said, "I wrote it." She said, "I understand you typed it up, you fashioned it. That's impressive. I mean, where do you get ideas like that? Do they come from this James Dobson guy?" I said, "No, actually, I've never heard James Dobson say that. Those are my own thoughts, my own ideas, my own notions." And she said to me, "I find that really hard to believe." At the time, I was 23 years old, a single man, never been married. And the thoughts that I expressed, she said, I don't believe those came from a 23-year-old single man. I think they came from a woman maybe in her 30s or 40s who's had a long and hard life. Or maybe they came from a counselor or a pastor who has worked with a lot of women who have had long, hard lives. I just can't believe that kind of thought process comes from a single 22-year-old man. It doesn't make sense to me. I said, "Okay, well, so what do I need to go to school for? Do I need to go to school for psychology or for journalism or what should I do?" And she said, "Well, journalism isn't going to accept your ideas. There's nobody in the media who would publish that. Nobody. So journalism is out." And I said, "Well, do I need to get a degree in English or something of that nature?" She said, I think you've got a great command of the language now. If you think you need English for your writing, I don't agree with that at all. I think, if you wanted to be a school teacher or something, but I'm not sure the schools would accept the way you think either." And so by the time we were done, staying in the career field that I was in as a firefighter wasn't really an option because I had no cartilage left in my knees. They'd both been destroyed. I didn't see an opportunity to go to school for journalism or for English or for math or sciences. I said, "Well, what about psychology?" She said, "I'm not even sure you're going to fit in psychology. I mean, you could go to a theology or school or something, but I don't know how long that takes before you can get the right training to really get a job in it." And I said, "Well, then what do you recommend?" She said, "Based on the way that you think and the things that you have to say and how articulate you are, I think you have a lot to say. And I think there are some people out there who really want to hear what you have to say. But I think when you grow old or start to lose your hair, then that's when people are going to respect what you have to say. Because right now, you're just too young for anybody to understand you and to really accept that you know what you're talking about." And I walked out of that meeting, and guess what I went to school for? Nothing. My GI Bill went back to the government, never spent. Never went to college at all. Now, I study constantly, as you can see by the library behind me. I never stop reading. I'm carrying around 2 or 3 books right now to read, and if I were to rotate the camera about 3 inches, you would see 25 books over here that I've accumulated in the last year that I haven't got to reading yet. That's my constant state. I'm always learning something new. I'm always digging deeper into an idea that I have already, and I'm always looking for new ideas. But the direction of my educational goals, which may have impacted my career goals, was changed by the words of one woman. I don't even know her name. I know what her role was. I can tell you where her office was on Lakenheath Air Base in England. That's the impact your words can have 10, 20, 25 years later. It's a big deal. The words that you choose to express to your kids, to your spouse, to your coworkers, to the people in your charge, if you're a leader, the words that you say to them will make a huge impact in their future. Do you believe in them? John Maxwell says, see everyone as a 10. That doesn't mean that they already are a 10. It means see them as a 10. See them for the best qualities in them, not the worst. Even if out of all of their qualities, they have 100 bad ones and 2 good ones, focus on the 2 good ones, not the 100 bad ones. Build them up, strengthen them, give them help, give them hope, give them courage, give them the idea that they can do better, be better, live better, give better than what they are right now. Because, as Dale Carnegie says, give a man a fine reputation to live up to, and he will. Or as Joel Osteen says, man is like a cork in a bucket, and he will only rise or fall to the level of what's poured into him. It's the same of young children. It's the same of wives. It's the same of coworkers and strangers and the barista at Starbucks. The words that come out of your mouth help to define who they are and what their place is in life. And you'll either love them to the next level, or you'll speak ill of them and destroy them where they are, or maybe just stop them in their tracks, or tie a weight to the bottom of that cork so no matter how high the rest of the level rises, they can't rise with it until they drown. You've got to choose the words that you use wisely to build others up and not tear them down. What are the words that you've chosen today so far? I know it's early, just getting started. But have you already chosen words that will wound, that will hurt, that will last 10 years from now? If you took those same words and you multiplied them over the next 10 years, will they bear fruit with great interest, or will they kill? If you can't answer that question clearly, then you may not have chosen the words wisely. Take some time and choose the right words. Choose words that build up, that encourage, that lift up, that add value, not words that tear down, demean, and destroy. Because the words you're planting today are like the seeds of the mighty oak tree in the forest. You may not see a sprout tomorrow, or for a couple of weeks, or even a couple of years, but one day, 10, 20, 30 years from now, birds will nest in that tree. Or will it be a thorn bush? It's all up to the seeds you plant right now, my friend. The words that you use are the seeds that you plant in others. Take caution with them. I'm J Loren Norris, and you've been watching Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day.